Okay, so in this short video, we're going to just briefly go through the definitions of non-increasing, non-decreasing, and monotonic. So if you take a look here at the notation, let's suppose a sub n is our current term, then the a sub n plus 1 would be the next term in the sequence, okay? So if our current term is less than or equal to the next term, then we say that a sub n is non-decreasing. We don't want to say increasing because of the or equal to, but if the next term is bigger than the last term, we say that it's non-decreasing. Similar down here, if the current term is bigger equal the next term, then we would say that it is non-increasing. All right, again, non-increasing. And then finally, if neither of these are true, then the sequence would be monotonic. Okay, now the definitions are one thing, but I really want to spend a little bit of time showing you how to determine if something is non-increasing or non-decreasing. Okay, there's two different ways, and so this is going to come into play later on in the chapter. So for the first one here, notice if I take a sub n minus a sub n plus 1, that's going to be less than equal 0. So by simply subtracting this over and creating this inequality, we can show that if this inequality is true, then we have a non-increasing function. If we come down here, we can kind of do the same thing, only the inequality symbol would be backwards. We would have a sub n minus a sub n plus 1 being bigger equal 0. If we can somehow show that this is true, then we've shown the sequence is non-increasing. Okay? Now, another way of doing this, I'm actually going to go ahead now and take this guy and divide it over to the other side. Okay? So when I take this a sub n divided by a sub n plus 1, if we now have this less than equal 1, we can confirm that it's a non-decreasing sequence. Similar to the other one, if I take a sub n over a sub n plus 1, and we know that that's bigger equal 1, that would also be a way of showing that the original sequence is non-increasing. Okay, now again, that's really not going to come into play a whole lot right now, but once we get into infinite series and you start to see how these conditions are going to need to be met many times, it's going to be nice to have this little tool to help.